In this video, I want to give you an example on how to do a ketogenic diet. This can be used as a long-term ketogenic diet, as a kickstart or preparation phase into a new diet that you just started to get a head start, because you're going to lose a lot of water weight, some fat, and you're changing habits. The most important part of the concept of the diet is you need to eat super low carb, means less than 30 grams of carbs per day. So this limits a lot of your food sources. Basically, the only carb source you can have is vegetables, low carbohydrate vegetables. And other than that, you're just eating a lot of meat, fish, fatty meat, eggs, and fat sources like avocado, cheese is also protein and fat, coconut milk, coconut oil, a little bit of olive oil, cod liver oil, fish oil, stuff like this. You can use butter, you can use heavy whipping cream, and beef tallow, pork lard, all the sources that just have fat to fatten things up, because your goal is to have high fat and medium to high protein. So for example, a ground beef has 18 grams of protein and 18 grams of fat. This is a perfect source for a ketogenic phase or ketogenic diet. In this phase, it's also important to not starve yourself. This is not a fat loss phase in itself. It is a fat adaptation phase or a ketogenic adaptation phase. So if you are hungry, you should be eating. And obviously like protein and fat sources if you're hungry. So you can fast in the morning if that's helpful for you, or you just eat when you're hungry and have your normal breakfast. It depends completely on you. What is helpful is stuff like coffee. It reduces appetite, suppresses appetite. Some tea sources. As supplements, keep it easy. I only use zinc, magnesium, and a cod liver oil, and sometimes creatine if there's like a phase or anything. The minimum time you should be doing this is 7 days, but only if in the first 3 days you're gonna do a lot of cardio or weight training to deplete your glycogen stores. I recommend people that do this the first time to at least do it 10 days. Then on the 10th day, you can either keep going with the ketogenic diet, or you're gonna have a carb refeed. And then, depending on what your goals are, you can either keep going and start from scratch and do this every 10 days or every 7 days. You do just like a ketogenic diet and have a refeed on the 7th day, or you just keep going with ketogenic diets and don't have refeeds at all, don't have carbs at all. This is not a sustainable. I mean, it is sustainable for some people, but for most people, it's impossible to adhere to a long-term ketogenic diet. What else? You could also just switch into a carb backloading phase, which means you have your carbohydrates in the evening or after a workout. This is what I'm gonna do after this phase. So enjoy the video. Maybe you can have some inspiration from the meals. But I try to keep it super simple, not think about it. Try to eat healthy and tasty food, but not a lot of variety. It's just how I like my food. I want to be efficient, preparing, and quick with everything. Today is day 1 of Kickstart Prep Phase Keto Week. This is 400 grams of organic ground beef with some bell peppers. I'll get some organic tomatoes and raw cheese, organic raw cheese. The reason for this meal is obviously it has a 1-to-1 fat ratio, so 18 grams of fat, 18 grams of protein. Cheese has the same. I'm getting raw cheese for some gut bacteria, probiotic basically. I'm getting the ground beef for collagen, protein, and other nutrients, vitamins. Bell pepper just for taste and because I still have it. Tomato also for taste, but mainly for the potassium because I'm going to the gym and it helps me a lot. This is a staple meal for keto and very delicious. This is not one meal. I will split it up into 2 or 3 meals depending on how hungry I am. After having the first meal of ground beef and so on, finished work, went to the gym, did a full body workout. Now I'm trying to do some cardio to burn some extra glycogen, to empty my glycogen stores as quickly as possible, to reduce the time I need to be in ketosis. So usually it's 10 days until you are keto adapted or fat adapted or whatever it's called, until you mobilize fat for energy better. But if you are doing full body workouts and a lot of cardio, like really heavy, you're emptying your glycogen stores very quickly. This can happen the first 3 days. So first day is the most important. Usually you're mostly done with if you're doing a full body exercise the second day, and some cardio the second day as well. You don't need the third day, but it helps as well. So what I'm doing here is, before I get my dinner, I'm doing cardio at home in front of the TV. Makes it a lot easier, and it just, I don't know, I've always done it usually with a bike in front of the TV and playing some video games. It's easier on the bike, but right now I have a walking pad, so I watch a movie and walk. Sometimes I walk for 1.5 hours, sometimes I walk for 2 hours. It depends. Dinner will be organic carrots already pre-cooked and organic chicken leg. It's a fattier cut of chicken. Plus some hard-boiled eggs that I have to peel, and I will add some extra, this is cold-pressed organic olive oil in a glass bottle from Greece. We'll add a little bit to the carrots from this, add some extra fat. This is a nice way of getting your steps in and burn some extra glycogen, at least for the first 3 days. But in general, this is something, especially on a diet, I will do as much as possible, and even on a bulk, because it's really healthy to get your steps in. If it's possible, outside is obviously better, especially if it's sunny. But right now the weather is very rainy, not very pretty outside, and also dark. So for that time, when it's dark outside, perfect. Watch a movie, do the walking. I still have some Vibrams that I bought probably 10 years ago, and I use those exclusively for walking. So usually I go with a speed of 4, I think it's 4 miles, which is still decent to walk, but not to walk and film. But yeah, good hack. Keto day 2, similar. Currently fasting, had some yerba mate, now 1 cup of coffee, and cardio plus food later, and after, like a few hours after food, some gym. Keto day 2, 5 organic free-range eggs from a farmer in this town that I know, so I know how the chickens are fed. That's very high quality. You can see at the yolk also, not colored anything. 100 grams of raspberries, only around 5 to 6 grams of carbs, so it's still in my carbohydrate allowance. The eggs I have been cooking in a little bit of MCT oil, maybe like 3 grams of MCT oil, just so it doesn't stick. Yeah, and for taste. Meal number 2, I pre-cooked organic carrots in an instant cooker, and afterwards I'm making ground beef with tomatoes and some raw cheese. Before that, I went to the gym for a full body session to deplete my glycogens even more. So I've done 2 hours of cardio today and 2 hours of gym. So I'm pretty fried, and tomorrow is gonna be rest day. I think I'm depleted by now. Keto day 2, dinner, chicken leg and some organic carrots. While having some friends over for drinks, I'm getting whiskey and soda. They're eating pizza. Keto day 3 is a full rest day. This is the second meal. It's 100 grams of raspberries and blueberries mixed, and an organic avocado, and I'm adding some ROID coconut milk. I heavily recommend this in this package as well. Better than a can. It's really tasty. Just pure fat and just a tiny bit of carbs for energy, and for dinner later some protein again. Keto day 3, organic ground beef, organic tomatoes. Yes, a can is not optimal, but still fine. Organic raw cheese, I'm not using all of it, just 50%, half of it, so it is 75 grams. This is 400 grams and 400 grams of tomatoes. The reason I have ground beef 3 days in a row is because it was on sale, and I love the taste of it, and it gives me everything I need. It has a lot of protein, a lot of fat. Absolutely perfect for keto. The cheese just enhances the taste, and a little bit more protein, a little bit more fat as well. So yeah, meal number 1. Keto day 3 dinner, cauliflower and some carrots 4 organic free-range eggs, is always from a farmer, and an Irish ribeye. This is a grass-fed one. Looks pretty nice. This is a lot of food today. The reason for it is in the kickstart prep phase week, I'm eating by hunger. So currently my body is giving me a lot of hunger signals because it's not yet fat adapted or producing ketones basically. This should get better in the next couple of days. Keto day 4, I had organic coffee in the morning, went to the gym after for a leg day, or low body day. I use a filtered coffee here instead of the French press because it's healthier. There's a study in Sweden, you can Google filtered versus French press. Then I made organic carrots. I pre-cooked them yesterday, put them in the fridge. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the air fryer to do organic chicken leg. There's a lot of fat in here. And the system here is, after a while I turn the chicken around, and when it's like 11-12 minutes in, so 8 minutes left on the air fryer, I use 20 minutes here, I add the carrots that I want to eat. I'm not going to eat all of those. And they soak up a lot of the fat because I'm shaking it, and they get really tasty, and it saves a lot of time as well. I do the same thing, same concept with white potatoes, for example. Keto day 4, meal 2. Some lime juice for flavor. Some MCT oil. I used 3 grams to increase ketone production. You also have MCT in the coconut milk, which is in there. There's an organic avocado and some blueberries. I bought a couple of organic avocados and I want to eat them before they go bad. Plus, this is to up my fat intake because my lunch was not super fat heavy, maybe 40 grams of fat total and 70 grams of protein. So this helps and it lasts me until dinner. The main point of the first week is to tell your body there's ample fat in your food, so you should not hunger yourself. You shouldn't be hungry all the time. Just eat when you're hungry. Just eat fat then. Right now I'm a bit hungry, so I'm getting this, and this will last me until dinner. Keto day 4 dinner. This is grass-fed ribeye steak, 350 grams that I'm frying in beef tallow. Some vegetables that will go into the fat when I lift the steak. I also made organic chamomile tea, which I very regularly drink in the evening, and I have it in a different room already prepared. Keto day 5, first meal. Organic filtered coffee with filtered water or with bottled water. I usually buy glass bottled water, but if you buy plastic bottles, be careful to not store them in light or in heat, and you should be fine. And I got some organic avocado that I still need to use, some raspberries, some ice so it's not too hot with the coffee, and some coconut milk. Day 5 lunch, cauliflower cooked in organic cold pressed coconut oil from this bottle. Grass-fed ribeye steak. The cauliflower also gets some organic raw cheese. And a nice little trick is this tomato paste here, which adds a lot of potassium to this meal. This is great for keto. This is how the meal looks at the end. And for spices, I stick to the basics. So always pink Himalayan salt, and occasionally, depending on flavorings, I add organic spices, in this case pepper. Depends on what you crave. Day 5 dinner, 4 organic free-range eggs from a farmer, super high quality, 240 grams of organic grass-fed Angus beef, ordered online at a website called Buy a Cow, Kauf eine Cow in Germany. I'll explain something more about that in a different video. And organic carrots cooked in the beef fat, and some chamomile tea as almost every night or every evening. Use salt, chili and pepper. Keto day 5, meal 1, organic burger patties, some sauerkraut for probiotics, for the gut, some organic carrots. And I'm also preparing more carrots that I just cook now with the heat remaining from this meal. I was using some mayo and salt on this dish. Day 6, meal 2, coconut milk with a little bit of organic heavy whipping cream and the remaining avocado with a little bit of matcha powder, pre-workout basically. Day 6, meal 2, coconut milk with a little bit of organic heavy whipping cream and the remaining avocado with a little bit of matcha powder, pre-workout basically. Post-workout meal on day 6, 240 grams of organic grass-fed ground beef and some vegetables. This is carrots, some corn, some peas, and I fried this in the burger fat, and for dinner I will also use the burger fat for the next vegetables. Day 6 dinner, 350 grams of organic chicken thigh. This is a fattier cut of chicken with some extra butter as well to increase the fat ratio, fat to protein ratio. Some vegetables with tomato, peas, carrots, and a little bit of corn. Keto day 7, breakfast, sauerkraut and organic burger patties. With fasting or breakfast, I usually go just by hunger in this week, because the main purpose of it is to not be hungry and just eat fat when you are hungry. So right now I got a bit hungry and made breakfast. First cup of coffee of the day, some organic filtered coffee with organic heavy whipping cream for some extra fats. Meal before dinner, some organic grass-fed beef in butter and the remaining sauerkraut. Day 7 dinner, organic salmon and the frozen veggie mix, cooking on low temperature, so the vegetables also soak up a bit of the salmon fat, the omega-3s, and I added a little bit of coconut oil for flavors and more fat. The reason you need to cook this on lower temperature is to not oxidize the omega-3s in the salmon, and if possible get the highest possible quality for the salmon. Today I will be switching to carb backloading, means everything stays the same like normal keto diet, fat and protein during the day with some vegetables, low carb vegetables, some low carb berries are also fine. And after workout you can eat carbohydrates, and you should be eating high glycemic carbohydrates like jasmine rice or mashed potatoes, stuff like this, you know. And so this is the first meal, organic burger patties and some organic carrots. And after this is done, I will use the remaining heat to pre-cook my potatoes. In the morning I had some coffee with heavy whipping cream and some coconut milk, because I still need to use that up before it expires, and some yerba mate. So I will eat this, digest it a bit, and then go to the gym. Leg day. Day 9, end of the keto kickstart preparation phase week. Adding carbs back into my diet. I will have my carbohydrates, mainly high glycemic carbohydrates like jasmine rice, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, honey, etc., ripe bananas, post-workout. But today is a special day. You can basically, after workout, you can eat around 6 to 8 hours, as many carbs as you want. But I'm not gonna go super crazy or unhealthy. I will just eat mainly healthy food, so potato and rice. This is gonna be mashed potatoes, some organic chicken, and I will mash that up, and later it will be some steak rice and some dessert rice with some honey, just to load carbs basically. Not going super crazy. You can also eat unhealthy, eat cereal or some other nice desserts like cookies, pizza, whatever. But this is the plate for today. I'll show some other meals in a different video. Second meal for the refeed is super boring. This is jasmine rice that I will wash with filtered cooking water. I'm using filter to cook my potatoes or vegetables or rice. So I'm washing it with this to remove some of the arsenic content. Use this afterwards and then use more water to cook it. The meal will be some jasmine rice with blueberries, just a little bit of blueberries for the flavor, and some honey and some cinnamon. I think a little bit of cinnamon, a dash, not much.